Sheer, Arizona has a new president. Here's where I'm at with the presidents. I got to break it into two different folds. With Bobby Robbins, yes, Bobby Robbins deserved to be fired. I don't think that or let go. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But for us, Bobby Robbins was great because Bobby Robbins likes sports. We've seen a lot of presidents over the years that do not like sports, and that is very annoying. Sheer, what are your initial impressions of the U of A's new president and name pronunciation as well, please?
Mr. President would be the name pronunciation. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to pretend like I'm an expert on him. You know, there's some initial concerns that I have. We have no idea how he handles sports. There's just not enough record of it at Vermont. Vermont doesn't have a football team. If you want to look in the positives, he worked at Purdue. Obviously, athletics are important at Purdue. I just don't know a lot. I think I'm more upset with the process than I am the hire based on what I know, at least.
Well, that was the most Arizona process ever. Listen, I don't understand why we do things where this was like what Michael Crow did for an athletic director. You only interview one person. I do not understand this with a president. This is a good job. Why are you only looking at one person? Why are you narrowing your choices when you're just looking at one person? I do not understand that.
Yeah, I mean, it makes no sense. And I think they're starting a press conference right now about it, but they'll say that he was the best candidate and they didn't feel the need to interview anyone else. And it's really hard to get away with that in most jobs. Most jobs, you have to interview multiple candidates. And even when you have a slam dunk candidate, you just kind of speed up the process and then hire the slam dunk candidate. For them to interview one guy, and like my mom made a good point today when she texted me, she's like, so you mean to tell me they interviewed him today, and then literally when the interview ended, there was no discussion and they offered him, they said, we're going to offer you a contract.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. And so it's like, you knew what you were doing. You knew that you were going to offer him a contract, and one guy, that's it. One guy, and he's the man.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to find out a lot more about it. Garimella will be doing some interviews here, I guess, coming up, or a press conference. But Mr. Tyler Warden makes.
You just call him Garimella?
Garimella. That's his last name.
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah, that's his last name. All right. But Mr. Tyler Warden makes.
Garimella. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Suresh Garimella.
Yeah. Mr. Tyler Warden makes a very, very good point. Vermont's athletic program brought in $20 million in revenue last year. He has no experience in this domain. That is what worries me.
Well, yes and no, because when he was at Vermont, he got a vote of no confidence because he started to cut humanity programs left and right, where he had to make cuts. So he went after tenured professors, and it's really funny to me that one of the Robbins got a vote of no confidence, and it was such a big deal locally, even though they're meaningless. Let's be honest.
Right.
And so they went and hired a guy that got a vote of no confidence. It's like
that's kind of where I'm at as well. Now, let's talk about Bobby Robbins here for a second. This is a guy that I think it's too bad that he didn't fail so miserably at certain very important aspects of the job, because for us, he was great. I mean, let's be honest here. We knew that he liked sports. He wanted to be front and center. A lot of people thought they're like, oh, well, he just wants to be seen by the cameras. I do not care what he wants to do. He made our life easy because he wants good sports. That is something that is very underrated in this day and age. So again, I get the Robbins had to be let go, but I have no feeling whatsoever, which makes me very uncomfortable about this new president.
But let me ask you something. Like I talked to someone, you know them, that used to work at this university and still knows quite a few people that's now working elsewhere. And they said that it is impossible not to recognize the value of athletics to Arizona. There's other schools where you can get away with it, but basically, like, the new president has no choice,
right,
but to understand that athletics are important to the life of this university. Like, this isn't Vermont. Vermont, you can get away with that. At U of A, if you don't value athletics, you're screwed from the start, especially financially.
All right, Joseph says one of the Morales sisters implied that sports isn't the president's job. They are wrong if they said that. At the University of Arizona, Jason Skier makes a very good point that it matters here at the U of A. Sports matter. It is a lifeblood of this community, period, point blank.
The only way it's not the president's job is if he gets out of Desiree's way and says, do what you need to do.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's it.
exactly.
That's his job, getting out of the way. You're either like Robbins or you get out of the way, or you're a Michael Crow type that doesn't value sports.
Right.
So if you don't value sports, that's trouble. But if he has the approach of, you know what, I think athletics are important. We're going to give Desiree all we need. Her hires are her hires. I'm cool with that. I'm actually fine with that.
All right, now, Mr. Tyler Warden. Again, we rely on Mr. Tyler Warden for many things. Arizona athletics contributed $265 million in economic output. It's absolutely critical. That is the best way of putting it. It is critical here. If Arizona has bad basketball, this city will erupt. Period. Now, with football, we're used to bad football. I get it. But with basketball, people will not be happy if we have Kevin O'Neal here or something again.
And sports are important to like students. I still remember like when I applied to colleges, Mike, I chose between Arizona and Santa Barbara. Mm-hmm. And Santa Barbara is a better school than Arizona, right?
Yeah, but go ahead.
Right, but no sports.
Right.
And I wanted to leave the state, but no sports. I said I want to go to a college football game.
Hey,
right?
You want to know something crazy about me? Something really cool about my college process? Guess what? I had a scholarship. I had a scholarship to USC.
Well, I don't know why you didn't go there.
Well, no, I had a scholarship to USC. Academic. I got all my academics paid for at the U of A, but I had a scholarship offer to USC as well.
Was it a Del Taco funded scholarship?
Oh, yes, exactly. I didn't want to get on Figueroa and MLK or whatever. No thanks. No thanks.
You living in the area of USC, though, would have been so good.
No. It would not have been good. I would not have been doing this.
You'd have been walking by guys with Tupac lyrics and
dude, yeah, nip hustle, baby. All right. So either way, that's where I'm at with this. I don't feel great about it, mainly because with Robbins, I knew where we stood, and I think we were pretty lucky in that regard. Listen, if you get a president that doesn't care about sports, it can be something that you have it like at ASU, where you just have, down in the dumpster programs at that point when it comes to basketball and football. Sure. But one thing that I do like, at least, is that Tommy Lloyd, the Tommy Gun, does have a long-term deal in place. He's getting paid well. And listen, if you're a president here and you try to undermine Arizona football or Arizona basketball, you're probably not going to be long for the job either, though, Sheer. I will say this.
Yeah, and it's because, like you mentioned, like I think you can get away at like an ASU or a other university not caring about sports. It is very obvious what makes U of A tick in Tucson, Arizona, right?
Right.
We're not going around sitting at Bob Dobbs talking about the humanities programs or. And I'm not saying that, there's value in education and all that. But if this guy comes in and doesn't care about sports and Arizona loses coaches or facility funding because of it.
Yes.
Look, all I know is we watched practice yesterday and Cole Davis was there watching practice too.
Yep, exactly. No, he was. But he was there.
That's one of my first calls. Like, that relationship better be good.
Yeah.
Because Cole Davis I don't know if we need to get into this. I don't think him and Robbins had the best relationship.
Correct. Now, Robbie Don, the great Robbie Don says, Mike, if Arizona just hired ourselves a new Michael Crow, are you going to regret rooting for Robbins to go? I know he threw your boy under the bus, but this could be terrible. Well, yeah. But here at the end of the day, I also have to understand something too, is that Robbins kind of ran this university in any other
rooted and to defend you. I don't know why I am. I don't think you rooted for him to go. I think we just understood that he needed to go.
Yeah, we understood he needed to go because you can't run a business like this. You couldn't run anything. If Robbins had run any other thing like that financially, he would have been booted from anything. Listen, I think it's a pretty rough precedent, but again, he made my job easy. So I'm going to give him some kudos on that one. We will obviously keep you up to date on everything that does transpire, because I'm sure you guys care about what we think as much as we care about what you guys think. Now, let's get to a little bit of Arizona football, my friends. Camp. All right. Now, just so everybody knows, I will be out at practice tonight. Jason Shear will be out of practice. I might even be bringing my lady friend to practice as well tonight. So all kinds of good stuff.
Are you going to be sitting with the media, or are you going with the regular people?
I don't know. I might sit with the regular people. I don't know.
You're a man of the people.
Yeah, I am a man of the people. Okay. But I'm just going to ask you this point blank. What do we know about Arizona football a month or a week and a half into camp? I'm going to go first, even though I just asked you the question. This team is damn good, period.
Yesterday, Shelby brought up a good point, very rare good point by Shelby. And she goes, you've watched football and you've come home and you said they suck. And you've come home last year and you go, hey, like, don't tell people, but we're actually pretty good.
Right.
What do you think this year? I think they're good. When it looks good, and there's growing pains with the offense. So I will say, like, if you go to practice tonight, there's a good chance or a chance the offense is going to suck. And the reason is because they're installing a bunch of stuff. And when the offense clicks, like we saw the other day, Mike, towards the end of practice, I mean, it's freakish, right? Like, it's really, really good. I watch this team and I go, yeah, there's some concerns. They're very obvious concerns. But man, the potential's there. Like, this isn't a bad football team.
And here's the thing is this is maybe this team's upside might even be a little bit higher than I thought it was going into camp. This team has, if things click, and again, you could say that about, anything. I get all of that. If things if things click, this team could be a real problem for about anybody, especially on the offensive side of the football, Jason Shearer.
Yeah, I mean, the offense, like, it's a crazy issue that, like, we talk and we're like, man, how are they going to play all these tight ends?
Right.
Because they're good. Or, man, they got 4 running backs that could get carries. How are they going to divide these carries? Or, like, they have, like, that's a good problem to have. And again, like you mentioned, like, I'm concerned about the offensive line. That probably won't change until I see it. The rest of the offense is great. And I know the offensive line is important, but the pieces are there.
Now, let me ask you this. Now, Ryan Neal says, is Burnett the leader at tight end? Here's what I'm going to say about this. And then, Shearer, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm not. He's clearly, and there's a lot of really good tight ends. He's clearly the most talented tight end. If you were to look at anybody on that roster and say they're going to be in the NFL in a year or two, it would be Kean Burnett. How about that?
Yeah, I think Miranda's probably the starting tight end. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to get more reps. If you were to ask me who gets the most reps at tight end, it's Burnett. Like, Miranda's very good at blocking. He's the best blocking tight end. That's not changing. He is a reliable pass catcher. Burnett is reliable and explosive. Burnett makes catches that no one else on the roster at tight end can make, and he's practiced really, really well the last few weeks.
Right. Now, our guy Jake Fagus says they have the highest upside of any team in the Big 12. I agree with that. I believe that if Arizona clicks and things work out, I believe they do have the highest upside. What say you, Shearer? Do you want to back the A on that remark?
Pure upside, right?
Yeah, pure upside. Pure upside.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, yeah, we agree. Now,
Kevin, everything goes right. Yes.
Now, Kevin WN, the great Kevin WN, says, when I was in school, our president in Wisconsin hated sports, but Barry Alvarez did not care and steamrolled her. You want to know why? Guess who is from Lexington, Nebraska? Guess who played football at the University of Nebraska? Barry Alvarez, my friend. He would not.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, you did, Mel. There you go, man. Seriously.
My sister went to Wisconsin for grad school, so I'm a big Badger guy. You also got to keep in mind that Alvarez was God in Wisconsin, so he had the power to steamroll anything a school president did.
Yes, as he should have, because he was really, really good at what he did.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't like maybe Desiree will try, but Barry Alvarez, like, that's just a different animal.